Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM KFYO. We continue to visit with different candidates running for office here locally. And joining me in studio, candidate for Roosevelt ISD School Board, Jonathan Meyer.
How's it going, Chad?
How are you, man?
Doing all right. All right.
You are a candidate, like I said, for Roosevelt ISD School Board. Tell folks a little bit about yourself.
Yes, sir. When I was younger, started out my life in the Air Force, proceeded through my military career, ended up retiring last year, which is a great thing. I got 4 kids, 2 of them that are graduating from Roosevelt this year, one of them that's going to start as a kindergartner next year, and one following right up behind him. My wife, she's a pediatric nurse. She's going to school to be a pediatric nurse practitioner. And I'm highly involved with the Shrine. So, dealing with helping kids out and stuff is my life. And
yeah.
I kind of want to live a life of servitude, and so that's where I'm at.
What was it that brought you to the decision to run for? Because this is the first time you've run for an office, and for school board, obviously, with having kids in the district and going through the schools, you're involved there. What was it that made you go, this is the right time to run for school board?
Well, I was involved with the Band Booster program as the Band Booster president out there for 3 years. And I could help out the programs there, but I could only help out certain programs, the band, color guard, so forth and so on. But I decided that since my kids are graduating, I'm going to have younger ones in school. Now is probably the right time to try and help the whole district and help them make decisions about the future of the programs, the future of the district itself.
Yeah.
So.
And as you probably know, school boards don't get a lot of play in the media.
They do not.
Whether it's Lubbock ISD or especially Roosevelt. You don't hear a lot about Roosevelt in the Lubbock media. What are some of the issues or some of the things that you would like to bring to the school board if elected?
I think one of the biggest things out in the community where we're at is the fact that we have a hard time keeping and hiring great teachers. It's a big problem out there because, of course, with Lubbock ISD, they can pay more.
Right.
There's more opportunities. Out there, it's really you have to drive out of town. You're wasting your own gas money to get out there, and you're not making a lot of money in the first place. So if we can find a way to help retain these teachers that are, great teachers, then it's going to help our programs no matter what. I mean, you're going to have kids that are going to excel. You got teachers that want to come out there and want to spend their time out there, but it's hard for them to do that. There's not a lot of room to live out there, so of course they got to drive in from town. So,
are there any other policies or any other issues that you would like to see either changed or look into, maybe out at Roosevelt?
I wouldn't say that there's policies that I would want to change, but if we could utilize some more of the funding for the CTE programs, the career and technical stuff, in a community like we have out there in the Roosevelt School District, there's a lot of kids that are hands-on. They grow up in the farming areas. They want to do a lot of these things that, we don't have a lot of funding for these programs. Now there's a way for them to get more funding if these kids want to be involved in these programs, but we got to boost these programs. And so if we don't boost these programs, then how are you going to get more funding for it?
Yeah.
Kids don't want to join. So that's one of the things that's important out there, I think.
Well, that seems like it would be important not only for Roosevelt but for a lot of schools.
Yeah.
As work in trade.
Yeah.
Work in agriculture. Those are slipping. As far as people getting involved and working in those, and those you can find some very good paying jobs in those fields.
And I think that's the goal. I mean, for probably the past 20 years, everybody's been pushing go to college, go to college, go to college, get a degree. Well, now we got all these people out there with degrees that can't find jobs.
Right.
When you got people that actually want to work with their hands, that don't get the training to do it after high school, and then they go out to find a job, and they got to start from the bottom. They got to go to a technical or trade school, spend some more money to try and, if they can do this in high school, they could essentially leave high school and get a high-paying job right away, or at least a decent-paying job.
Yeah. Visit with Jonathan Meyer, candidate for Roosevelt ISD School Board. I'm sure you've been doing some block walking, talking to neighbors, talking to folks out in the community. What do they think about the state of the schools and the school district out there?
I mean, as far as the people are concerned with the school district itself, the state of the school district is pretty good. From what I hear, the people are happy with the way that the progression is going with the way that the money is spent. Mm-hmm. We had a tax ratification a couple years ago, and they've utilized those funds to help update the school in certain ways. And so I think the people are happy with that we're utilizing the funds for what they're supposed to be used for.
Right. Taxpayers usually like that.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, I like it. The fact that they're using the money for what they say they're using it for, I mean,
yeah,
it's incredible. But, I think in academics-wise, I think we could be better. Mm-hmm. I really do. I think that the school could be better. So,
how can people find out more about you, more about the campaign, and maybe get you any questions that they have about your school board race?
So I have a Facebook page. It's Jonathan Meyer for RSD School Board. You can find me there. You can find me just on Jonathan Meyer if you go to Facebook. My telephone number's on there if you want to call me, by all means. My address is on there. If you want to show up at my house, I wouldn't suggest that because, you know what happens in Texas. But you're welcome to do that as well. And I'll be around in the Roosevelt community. I go to all the events. My kid's in T-ball. I'll be out there. So if you find me somewhere, please talk to me, ask me questions.
Yeah.
Find out a little bit more about me.
If people do show up to your house, knock on the door. Just don't walk in.
Please knock on the door.
Right, yeah, knock on the door. Jonathan Meyer, candidate for Roosevelt ISD School Board. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Chad.